And welcome everybody, Morpheus in the house again, delivering you a bit of the red pill, the truth about trading with leveraged instruments, mainly binary options. And today we're going to continue to make money within any part of the world. This is something that's possible, and if you click on the pocket option link below, you will see that this is live. It's not pre-recorded. The charts are identical. We're going to be doing a little bit more of technical analysis. Today we're going to be focusing on a wonderful indicator that I personally find to be very good. ADX, average directional index, and this is something that when I just started out trading like 12 years ago, is something I could not live without. Chats are open, my dear friends, just like my boy Henry and my boy Donald. They're actually from across the ocean. Anyways, chats are open if you want to ask anything about the topic at hand. These guys have contacted me in Telegram channel, which is something that all of you can do as well. Talk to me one-on-one about independent money making. This is a wonderful instrument that gives you massive, massive opportunities, but we do need to understand how it works. So the purpose of these videos is to show you the rules that govern this system. Right, this is all solely going to be relied on math, statistics, and logical application of all of this. So this isn't the trick. No, I don't have private jets, but I do fly first class. No, I don't have a Bugatti, but I got several cars that I absolutely love. If you want to ask any kind of questions, comments, concerns about this topic or about kind of, where money works for you, side income, or maybe even primary income, this is something that you could do to kind of, to augment, I guess, your daily expenses. But I gotta say that I got real estate all over the world, really, and uh, this is something that binary options help me get there. But this, binary in trading is not something solely that I do. I invested, I've traded, I've gotten money out a little bit by, at a time as a side thing, as a side thing, and I was investing into what I found to be, very, amiable. A little bit into some stocks like TD Waterhouse and America Investment Bank. But this was God. This was when I was like, significantly younger. God, I lived in America for 23 years before I started traveling the world and getting a chance to kind of see what's out there. And anyway, so I got money coming in from everywhere, right? But because I was investing very wisely while I was going into it, and we did do a video, you can take a look in the past. All of these things are done live. We got no macro statistics, today and tomorrow. Today's Wednesday. Yeah, tomorrow, today or tomorrow. And but on Friday we're going to take advantage of CAD, unemployment statistics, not CPI, and we're going to see if the market is going to react to that. But the point is that usually during technical analysis, the trading is a little bit more conservative, while in fundamental analysis, it's something that could go a little bit bigger. So at the end of the month, if you got a couple of $100 that you can apply towards paying off your loans a little bit quicker, or investing into something that will make your money grow over time, this is something that I'm like a very, very big advocate of. So it's not really something that's done solely here, though I do think that it's possible, though, with the right kind of psychological fortitude. All right, so today, my dear friends, we're gonna do, I'm gonna revisit an old friend, the ADX, and you know what, so I really do enjoy this indicator. Right now, we actually got like a whole bunch. We got actually 6 indicators available, and you can see that the graph is a little bit, I don't know, cluttered. We could say it that way. But we could, this maybe like free up a little bit. But ADX is over here to make it a little bit more, I don't know, I don't want to say. I don't want to say the word pretty, but let's make it a little bit more clear, in my opinion. It's very, very easy. We have an orange line, and you know what? Let's actually make that. ADX is the orange line, right? But since it's too close, let's make ADX bluish. It's turquoise. All right, so ADX, it's this line right here. These are the red and the green lines would kind of be associated with the bullish and bearish movements. And I want to say that essentially the ADX, it can tell you or kind of give you a confirmation if the trend is strong. All right, so directional movement index, positive and negative one. This green one is positive, negative is, the red. So there is a signal when they cross, right? If the red takes the top, yeah, you could expect a few red candles coming in, and we got like a sell signal right here. We got a sell signal right here from MACD. We got a sell signal right here from Shaft, though kind of rare as it is, that would be a false signal from Shaft, considering we have 4 green candles, right? So imagine if you were trading here. This is where, I usually say, like on the 5th step martingale, you're already kind of like 80% in of your balance, and that's why I would never really go that far. But nevertheless, this is where you would have won. Anyways, and so this is kind of like signal line and or signal line ADX line of signal line and MACD line crossings right here. But in this case, see, they also kind of cross, but in this case, this is positive and negative directional movement index. ADX is the turquoise line, or in the default settings, it's orange line, and it needs to be higher than 20% to consider that there is a trending move. All right, so right here, when there was a crossing, the histogram, the zero line, the crossing, the MACD, and the signal line, we got the parabolic, we got, the directional movement, positive and negative directional movement index crossing, but we see that this sucker is like 19 and falling. All right, we understand that this is not something that's going to go down aggressively for a long time, right? That it does have this, ability to kind of give you maybe just that one big move or two, maybe candles at most, and then, it's going to do its own thing. So, this is kind of, this is the important thing to understand. All right, so here we go. We got the turquoise line. Okay, now, today we're going to be once again doing a little bit of a combination of all of the things that we did discuss. We're going to keep fractal because I kind of find it as an early signal, kind of like an alarm that's 10 minutes sooner. When you wake up, we got parabolic SAR, which is, in my opinion, is also a really good indicator with the statistically speaking that when it's under, you buy, when it's over, you sell. And a few steps martingale to kind of mark that. Now, for leading indicators, we do have MACD, moving average, convergence, divergence, and we do have Shaft, which I find kind of like interesting, where maybe an indicator like CCI could show you when the trend is strong, right? When it touches the positive 100. So right here, man, we have like a really good across the board signals. Look, we had parabolic, we had MACD crossing and going up, we got Shaft going up, we got CCI saying that, man, yeah, it's going to be going up. And right here in this particular stretch right here, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 candles that were all green. And if you manage to open them exactly at the beginning and close them exactly at the end, you would have had 9 positions in the money. If you're investing 1% of your balance, I mean, there's your 10, there's your like 5, 7% of daily profit. All right, remember that 1,000 becomes 3,000 if you're aiming for 5% per day. All right, across across the course of a month. All right, so this is something that's important. Obviously, no trend can go on forever, and I'm actually expecting this thing to start, going the other direction. So now I would be keeping a closer eye on the Shaft, because as soon as it starts to round out, as soon as we get a red bar here in MACD, we start to understand that it's petering out. And if we take a look, maybe we can take a look at a slightly bigger time interval. Yeah, I mean, we did have a relatively decent high at 9 o'clock in the morning today, right, 1874, right now it's 1850, so around 23 more pips. It does have potential to be, going up to this point right here. Will it do it all in one go? This is where it's a little bit unlikely. Now, this is what I want to maybe to point out, right? You guys and I have been doing this long enough already. For some of you who are going to be watching these streams live right now, or maybe later, you probably understand that support and resistance levels in technical analysis is something that's crucial to understand. Because nothing goes up forever, but we do have understanding when there is a point of interest, right? So I can probably set something up like this across. There we go. So we had a downward trend, an upward trend, kind of like it was bouncing back and forth here. But so reaching this resistance level has just been broken, which is another signal for a buy. Right, so we have majority. We have like a really good tech here, tech analysis. All right, so after, right, we establish these 2-point contacts where it goes up and then down, we could see the market, how the market breathes, so to speak, right? So I would say that if we do something like this, we kind of have an idea. Yeah, I mean, it's going up very aggressively, and as I mentioned, this is something that I would expect that it cannot be sustaining for very long. All right, so there we go. We had a 1. We got kind of like a, almost a 2, a 3, a 4-point contact. So this is a good level of support. This right here was a good level of resistance because we saw that this level was, significant enough from the asset to bounce away. But once it finally broke through, this is where we can look at ADX, right? We got the positive directional movement index with the ADX started to go up, but I would say that somewhere over here, right, at this level right here around this candle, we see that it keeps rising over 20% and the trend is relatively strong. So we could have entered the position, but I think that we came to Euro Dollar OTC a little bit late already. And there is a bit of a pullback. Remember that, buying and selling affects the supply and demand principles. And essentially when the asset goes up, somebody's making money. And at some point they say, hey, I opened for, for 3-minute expiration, for 5-minute expiration, maybe for custom, just like it is here, for 6.5-minute expiration. And somewhere cumulatively, maybe they started open a bunch over here. And, it started, and they all came to this particular point where this is where the expirations come in. And the selling is also affected. So buying affects the supply and demand principles and the value goes up. But the selling affects the supply and demand principles in the opposite direction, right? So you open a position, you buy. You close a position, you sell. Right? Supply and demand principles reflect the price. It's as simple as that. Right? So it was natural to see a bit of a pullback. We got a bunch of red bars. It's already crossing. It's coming to to lower bars. But we'll be looking at this. So once again, remember that OTC. This is something that pocket option clients are pushing up and down by opening and closing positions. And even though we understand, right? I understand the rules that govern the system. Not everybody plays by the rules. It's kind of like everybody understands the traffic signs, right? And like the speeding, right? The limit for top speed that you can travel across a particular road. Not everybody, sticks to that particular, right? Limitation. And that's why sometimes the OTC or even technical or fundamental analysis will not really be as accurate. That's why the money management system that I keep pushing you guys to understand that this is the easy part. The hard part is to not go bananas with your investments. All right. So again, if the ADX is above 20, we got an understanding that there should be a decent trend. And that trend can, potentially you can ride that trend, right? And open positions however you see fit. If your goal is to make like 5-10%, maybe this is something that's much easier than you think, because all you got to do is open like 10 positions. You catch a good trend, you're done in 15-20 minutes, and you're good to go about your business. $1,000 turns into $17,500 balance in a matter of 1 month if you shoot for 10%. So it's not really something that is little, right? It's actually something that's quite significant. All right. So let's do what we usually do. Let's pick a whole bunch of 92% currency pairs, and let's start, kind of looking from the beginning. LBP, you don't even know what the hell LBP is, what kind of currency. All right, LBP against USD. All right, we got the ADX, kind of like saying that it's, oh, by the way, percentage-wise, right, so ADX is the blue line as long as it goes with the negative upwards, right, across the percentage scale. If it goes up with the negative directional movement index, I mean, essentially we're expecting more red candles than green. All right, so it's usually what we want. We want something like this when there's like a consolidation, right? Maybe like kind of like an alligator mouth is closed, and then boom, it starts to explode. Going upwards. We got like a really good signal from CCI. We got the crossing of the directional movement index is positive and negative, and we start the ADX climbing upwards above 20%. So somewhere here, we understood that the trend is relatively high. We got the buy signal from MACD. We got a buy signal from parabolic SAR a little bit earlier, right? There we go. This is why I love fractal too, because right here it says, hey, it's might be going upwards soon. We have like this negative small mini trend about like 20 minutes, right? So there we go, 5 to 30, yeah, so 35, about 30 minutes worth, right? So it's going downwards, but then, yeah, it's a whole bunch of signals. So fractal started out, this is where I would start paying attention. I was like, look at that, it's going. We got parabolic is pulling down, but now the acid's reaching towards it. So on this candle, I would have understood that, yes, it started to, there is potential, and probably on this candle right here, would have started opening positions every single candle, right? So second step martingale, boom, boom, second step martingale, we got third, but in this case, we already have a particular notification from parabolic and from CCI that the trend is no, it's a dip back in, that it's no longer, as active. So CCI is actually easy. We're going to kind of focus on it a little bit more in the next few days, and probably next week, I think. But nevertheless, so this is what we're looking for. We're looking for a somewhat of consolidation. We're seeing it right now. We're also see a bit of a resistance level, right? And I would say that it's somewhat good. I think it would be like this. This would be a false breakout, but we got a buy signal. We got a buy signal across the board. Though, look, see, we got ADX. Well, I don't know. ADX not really showing us. Once again, showing that there is a consolidation, so the downward move might be petering out. But let's once again, we're going to be keeping an eye out on this, and we're going to do a small position. So I think that I would want to kind of a buy position right now. We go to the next one. Next one is going to be 3. Again, we're going to keep it small because, as I mentioned, I have my technique, or rather, interest has evolved a little bit. And yeah, I still think it's going to be going upwards, though CCI is in the middle. ADX is not really committing to anything, and but we do have buy signal from Shaft. We got a buy signal a little bit before that from MACD, but we got the histogram. We got red bars, so maybe in this case we probably should. I'm probably going to wait a little bit more, but let's go for 3 and the following minute expiration to see where we end up. Maybe we got the ADX and signal line crossing, histogram crossing again, and we got the shaft that could essentially already see it would be touching from the outside in. Not like here. This would be actually a better signal. All right, so it depends on really what the pocket option clients are doing right now. So I'm probably gonna wait, right? I lost $2, not a big deal, still 92% payout. And let's just see what the asset is going to be doing a little, right now in the next minute, next 48 seconds is something that might give us a little bit more. So we got a downward trend. If it breaks through, I mean, we do have potential to reach up to here, right? Around this, parts right here, be, the previous, points where it resisted. So it could be, a bit softer drop downward, still downward trend. But we're going to see right now, I think that there's a bit of indecision. And if it keeps pushing, there we go. I mean, I would believe that if it still goes, we could see a reversal. See, CCI is kind of going down when it touches negative 100. It kind of tells you that, yeah, there is enough momentum for it to continue. We got negative directional movement index, kind of reversing here. We'll see what it will do. All right, we got shaft saying sell. We got early signal, right, with potential crossing from MACD right here with the signal line MACD, but not really ideal situation here. And so, as I mentioned, I would probably want to wait. We got a 750 as the next position for the next minute. And let's see. So it depends really what the guys, what we as pocket option clients do cumulatively. So will it go down a little bit further in the next 20, some odd seconds? Not sure, not sure. All right, we got the, so the sell signals, but I think on the next candle it will be a little bit clearer with regards to if it's going to go down or not. Not something that I like. Like even if I win this one, this is going to be like by the skin of the teeth. And yeah, we won, but yeah, I don't know, not feeling it, not feeling it right now. That there still needs to be a little bit more. So let's go down. Let's take a look at maybe something else that we got here. Also, market that's got a range that's a little bit, it's not really big. 0309. 0308, 8 pips worth of movement. So yeah, definitely not. All right, so GBP once again, even in OTC, it still kind of does a little bit better, better thing with regards to volatility. All right, so there we go. All right, this is not so bad actually. This is like a good situation that's building right now. We got the ADX that's at 18%. And we got CCI that's in the middle. We got market has been going sideways a little bit. So maybe right now we would be able to see a short-term trend. But this is once again something that we need to wait just a little bit more. All right, let's see. Trend line. All right, and we're doing a resistance level. All right, so for the past, since like 10 minutes, 10 to... Alright, so for about 10 minutes worth of movement, it's been going downward. So GBP most volatile against the least volatile currency in in the real market and the fundamental analysis. But here, alright, we see this. Alright, so we got an upward movement with the negative direction movement index. We got a sell signal from here. We got, you know what? Let's take a position. Let's take a position. All right, because we do have we do have this quite a few signals with regards to CCI that it's touching this with regards to ADX that's climbing, right? So we could go to the next position and open another one, but this is something that makes me a bit concerned. Remember that once again, with our previous videos, we understand that we should pay attention to the previous recent times when the asset was bouncing away from particular levels. So, right, so we do have a support level that's like right here, and so it could bounce away from this particular, in 26 seconds could actually go back inside, but that wouldn't really deter us, right? So there we go. And actually, this is where I would start to think that this dip right here was the lowest that, the recorded by the CCIs, right, these dips. So I would actually say that on the next candle, there should be, a retracement. Right, so not really something that I would continue to sell because this aggressive move has just breached, and there should be, right, a bit of a pullback, and as we're noticing, there it is right now. Again, to all of my friends that might be coming across this stream right now, in Telegram channel we can discuss these things a little bit more in detail. There's several ways of trading every single indicator, but for the purpose of our streams, I'm keeping it very generalized so that we understand, at least how it works, right? Because this is maybe for, for the masses that might be interested in this. So with enough experience, with enough, I don't know, exposure to the graphs, to how the markets move, you will understand this a little bit more intuitively. So even though that it might still continue to go down, once again, there has to be that understanding of buying and selling and somebody making money, right? And when they're opening positions in terms of volume, lots or little, there's also going to be a position or a point at which the position will close, right? So this was a very big negative, move. These three big candles, went from 18 or 467 to the lowest point, 467. Yeah, so right, so this was actually a big move. Uh, with the JPY, just like with TRY, the Turkish currency, the pip, it's the third digit after the decimal. All right, so here we go. We got a green bar. We got negative direction movement index already kind of coming down. CCI, if it might, it could go back in. All right, so we got the early kind of signal from Fractal 2. We got an alarm to keep an eye out on all of the other indicators to see if possibly there could be that point where it, goes back in or goes up. All right, so having said that, whoa, beautiful, beautiful kind of positioning here, but it's interesting that we've got this kind of like a negative move right here, but we do have um, the asset Euro JPY kind of going sideways. All right, ADX is coming down even though it's at a very high percentage, right? So somewhere around here where it crossed and started to go up, yeah, we had like a buy signal here. This, continued to go up, more green, more green. So the buy started here from MACD, from there we go, fractal, MACD across, and shaft. So between these, there was a good moment to open the position and to actually ride it until, say, it rose very aggressively, breached all sorts of levels, Euro JPY, but now it's going sideways, even though everything else says sell, sell, sell. It's still kind of sawing this particular level. So I think in a little bit, we could maybe expect a relatively decent return, at least up to this point right here, the previous high, or maybe somewhere here. But right now, let's keep on looking. Let's keep on looking. What do we got? What do we got? Oh, I love it when, this happens right here. This, with the a little bit bigger. I would, this is not really the ideal situation. Don't know what the heck is going on. So once again, CCI is in the middle. MAC or ADX, average directional index, is also kind of all over the place with the ADX itself. Very low, very low. All right, right now though it's rising. It's rose about above 20%, and actually, yeah, we got a buy signal here. Let's see if we can take advantage of it. Yeah, we got parabolic, we got fractal, we got the crossing of the zero line, the signal, and the MACD line. ADX is dropping down. It's still above 20 though. We got the positive negative directional movement indexes crossing. And you know what? I'm still going to, yeah, even the next candle I'm still gonna buy. Though I would love to see ADX run. To see, I'm hoping that one of these days, one of these videos, you and I'm still hunting for that particular moment when we can run a trend for a bit. All right. So there we go, 4, 3, 2, we should be in the money. Let's open another one right now. There we go. Alright, there could be a retracement, right? So look, with the lots of small candles, it took quite a long time for it to reach this place, and it was very fast. In 3 minutes, it reached up to here. So from this point, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes. Kind of went sideways, and in 3 minutes, half the time it went back up. So it's not a big deal. Once again, we go to the next with proper application of money management. We should be coming on top because we still got a bunch of buy signals right there. We have ADX I'm sorry, shaft saying that it should be a buy position right here, and we got MACD kind of pointing up there, though ADX is still kind of low. It's still dropping, which makes me think that the trend is not really present. Even though we're going to lose this, I'm still thinking it should be going up for at least another candle or two before retracing. We have a gentle downward trend right here. If we could kind of like, there we go, capture it somehow like this. Maybe even going back a little bit further. There we go, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it does have potential to go higher a little bit, but as you can see, we're kind of like by the skin of our teeth. I'm still thinking that I'm going to get my winning trade with this Euro GBP currency pair if we keep an eye out on everything that's going on. So ADX is kind of slow once again, telling me that it's not going to be a strong, upward movement, at least for a while. So, but everything else is still showing me a bullish favoring, right? The bullish favoring. The volatility is dirt low. All right, let's open another one, right? Oh, next minute. Yeah, actually, remember we have ATR. Yeah, it's pointing down, so it's not really. It could be lower. It could be lower, but it is pointing down, so I'm not expecting. All right, so next one. Wait a second. The fourth and final martingale that we usually take advantage of. Wait a second. Where's my charts? Oh, somebody moved my. I moved my charts on my martingale. Oh, let's find them. I believe next one is 1875, and that would be the last. That would be the last step. All right. So right now, yeah, we dropped below. There we go. ADX is below 20, and so we only have parabolic still pointing upwards, and we have the first red bar. Though once again, I do believe we got ATR, kind of rising. Maybe the next candle should be a little bit bigger. But if we lose this one, we kind of stick with it. All right. Let me find my marking. There it is. Okay. All right. Chats are open again. I'm hoping that this will become a dialogue instead of a monologue. So let's see. Oh no, this one is a 2, so 375. 4688 is the next one, but thankfully we don't need to go there, because as I mentioned, this is where, in a way beyond my comfort zone to go beyond the fourth step. Fourth step is actually the max. I really don't even like taking the fourth step. Usually I can go, because understand, right now, if we lost 750, we would have lost $12.50. When getting that back with a $2, $3, $5 positions would take approximately like 5, 6, 7 maybe trades. To win back, if I lost 1875, this would be $31. So to win that back would take significantly longer time. And this is where, once again, I always tell my friends, all of my traders, set a cap on your martingale, right? So we kind of have like a sideways movement. There's no ADX showing that it's, low. There's not really a trend here, right? A trend reversal. So what I used to do with my, when it just started out, I was hunting. I took this phrase, trend is my friend, very serious. And what I was doing is I was looking at all sorts of currency pairs to see all sorts of, there we go, right? See, this is what we want. We want a high move, but the there are several ways to trade the ADX with other indicators, but I preferred to look at ADX and a breakout, right? So right now with LBP USD, we do have that potential coming up soon, right? So we have a relatively, this kind of like a false breakout where on one candle it goes out, but on the next one it comes back in the line. So this line, this resistance level is valid. And so what we could, well, we could actually set another one a little bit more maybe aggressive like this setting. And so we're looking at ADX with a, when it breaks out. As long as ADX is above 20, you see, I would actually prefer to have been kind of like around 20%. And once the breakout happens, to start a climb. All right, so let's see, somewhere, right here we have, there we go. Wait a second. Let's kind of give a hypothetical situation in the recent past. There we go, right? So we had a buy signal here. We had the crossing of the positive and negative directional movement indexes. It started to go up. ADX started to go above 20. There it is right here. Da, 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 da. But now there was a downward movement, continuation, kind of stayed up here. Da, 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 da. And right about here, right, there was this crossing. All right, so there's a buy signal. And you know what? I'm actually going to take it. I'm going to take it. All right, and once there was a breakout, we had a 1, we had a 2, we had a 3. There's the 4th point breakout, right? We got confirmation from parabolic, we got confirmation from shaft, we got confirmation from MACD, right? And, so the positive directional movement index started to go downward, but the ADX was still above 20, right? So it started to kind of go up with this. So we understand that there's even that's a positive divergence where we got down and the peak goes down. So there's a few things that we could be considering but a breakout strategy is something that I enjoyed quite a bit. Hunting down this with confirmations from other indicators. All right, so we got $2 in the profit, and I opened another one because I do believe it should be going upwards as well. So though right now, this is where it's interesting. This particular resistance level is not really good because it's only 1, 2, and on the 3rd point it's breaking out, right? So it's not particularly valid, but right now there is this potential for it to break through here. And if it breaks through here, next possible move, kind of level of interest would be somewhere around this area, right? So around here. So it does have potential to go higher. We need to kind of keep an eye out. CCI is somewhere in the middle. We already have SHAP kind of reached out, spent on the first 2 with parabolic. With regards to max, and the first 2 candles is probably spent already. But we go to $3, we go to the next candle, and we continue to go upwards because I still think it should. Not because I said so, a little bit of experience, and I think that, yeah, we should see a bit more. However, this is a resistance level, so if it bounces back, chances are it's going to continue to bounce back, making this a very, very interesting asset, the LBP USD, because once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 point contact, and that means the more times it touches, the sexier it becomes to us. On the following time it comes to this point and we look at other indicators to see if there is a possible breakout, yeah, man, this is going to be great. This is going to be at the point where the reversal could actually be significant. though I'm still gonna ride it. We got a 3, and I'm gonna take another one for an upward movement. And I'm kind of, I kind of want to, yeah, I'm gonna do it right now. All right, there we go. Oh, I didn't open it. Son of a gun. All right, let me open it now. All right, so if we got a bearish dominance, there we go. We got the negative directional movement index going, going upwards again. And I could theoretically also go for the fourth step, which would be right 1875, and take a downward position if there's more signals. Right now we only have red bars from MAC, and well, essentially nothing else. Nothing else is telling us that there should be a downward movement. We got fractal on the previous candle saying that it should, but once again, there we go. We got a bit of a rising. So in 14 seconds, we should be good. I would also love to, kind of point out, we did discuss the crossing of the signal line on the MACD line and the zero line in histogram, but when the lines actually go above the zero line, the signal line and MACD line, it also tells us something, right? It also tells us that there could be, and I'm actually believing that we might be at that point where there is a possible upward trend. So next candle, right, we go back to $2 the following minute, and well, we're 37 seconds left to it, right? And sometimes it shows, sometimes it doesn't. This is actually really weird. On some asset, it shows the end of the expiration for your position, not the end of the candle timer, but the end of the position. But some assets it doesn't. All right. So chats are open. This is live, folks. We're doing this right now. A bit of technical analysis trading. We're giving a little bit more attention to the ADX. Seems like we're going to win, but maybe by the skin of our teeth on this one. But I'm still going to take the next position. I'm still going to buy. Because we got a candle that closed outside. Now, this could be a false breakout, and it could go back under. But I'm actually very optimistic about this, right? So I'm hoping that my unicorn with you guys, my unicorn is catching an uptrend and riding that sucker until it peters out. So this is what I usually do when I trade personally. I find the support resistance levels, and I find that position where I can ride a trend for a while. So all right, 14 seconds. If it comes back down a little bit more, once again, I might wait a little bit, but it seems like I should be opening a position, already. I'm still gonna go up. Okay, I'm still gonna go up. All right. So what we got a little bit of conflicting signals. All right, and here's why. We got red bars from MACD. We do have kind of like an upward direction from the MACD line and signal line. We got the parabolic on the top, or I'm sorry, on the bottom, showing that it should be going up. But I got also a CCI in the middle with no direct, preferences for a trend. We got, negative directional movement index, negative, the red line here is also pointing upwards a little bit, which also makes me think that there is a bit of tug of war going on right now between the bulls and the bears. So not really ideal situation to, there we go. Okay, so we got a green bar now because the things are changing. All right, we're going, and we're still gonna, I'm still gonna try to continue with you guys going upwards. I do believe that this actually looks like, yesterday I was trying to show you a pattern, ascending right triangle, but this would have been good if the asset was going up, and then boom, it went down, then boom, and went down, then boom, and once again, it still kind of shows, bullish dominance, but we'll see. So we still have this, 1, 2, 3 point contact within like 34, 44, within a 10-minute period. Not the ideal situation. As I mentioned, this like unicorn, the perfect stars aligning is not something that happens very often. but we could still take advantage of it, right? So 546, next minute. All right, I'm gonna wait a second. See, right now I kind of want to wait, but wait, I didn't, what, again? Hold on, what the hell? There we go. All right, it's been sawing. This is going sideways, so I'm seeing not really good signals. I'm actually seeing that, yeah, it could be bearish dominant right now, right? From perspective that we got shaft that's been here for a while, and it could be around. We got red bars. We got CCI kind of dipping lower, right? It was in the middle. It was not really preferring anything, but it dipped a little bit lower. Yeah, I guess that LBP USD is something that I'm going to stop trading right now because I still don't really feel the I still really don't feel the idea that this is aware, right? So we got one, we got two, we got three, and fourth point. So it's bouncing. Yeah, it should be going down a little bit more. All right, let's take a position for the next minute for a down movement. All right, so we got a sharp move here. We got a crossing. We got kind of moving towards the center line, the zero line. We got the signal line and the MACD line about to cross. There we go. The ADX has started to go up. We got, yeah, so I'm actually, very confident now at this moment that it should be going down further, right? So we got multiple signals. Live trading, folks. This isn't something that's pre-recorded. Hit that pocket option link right below. You'll be able to see and kind of be able to prove my words. This is something that you are able to do without luck, without risking a lot of things. So perfect kind of positioning. There we go. We entered into our money. I'm gonna actually go into the next position and still open again for a sell. We got this. All right, there we go. We got actually, continuation, right? So shaft didn't really yet show us that it's time to sell, but MACD did, parabolic did, CCI did. We got a crossing, we got an upward movement with regards to the ADX. It's this is a strong trend, and I'm going to continue to make money with this. Individual indicators, as I mentioned, I can actually go and talk to you guys about this on a daily basis through Telegram channel. If you want, we can go actually do one-on-one trading, so this is not where you would be alone. And, actually, the other thing that I just realized that some of you might be tempted to open positions, multiple positions per period, right? Per expiration. Not really something that I encourage as well, because at any given moment, this particular move is actually big. Look, I mean, it's bigger than this move right here. It's bigger than this. It's big. It's almost like this, but there should be a bit of a pullback, and that's why we're still looking at everything else as a confirming signal. And actually, after this, I'm probably going to stop. I'm going to wait and see if there's going to be a pullback. If the pullback is going to happen, there could be potential that it's going to go back up to this level. All right, so this is where, this one already broke out. So let's see if we can set up a support level, actually, right? Wait, there it is, right? So we do have a support level right now that it's hitting that spot. And it could be bouncing back. So let's see. Let's see for the next minute. What else we got? Do we have any other signals? We still got bearish dominance, right? But there could be a pullback. So we got this ever slightly expanding channel. Been trading for 50 minutes. I mean, we're kind of in the money, right? All right, we got. All right, so about $2. Let's say 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About $10 here. $9, 10, 12, 12 minus, okay, so 12, 14, 15, 15 minus, there we go, 5, 16, 17, 18, Yeah, we're doing about like, 20 bucks, actually a little bit more, around $25 right now, for doing a little bit of technical analysis. So this is once again, kind of prove that maybe, it's not something that you would need to do a lot. I mean, obviously we're doing it with a significantly lower amount because this is not my usual way of trading, but I want to show you what's available, right? My way is not necessarily your way that's going to be when you reach out to me in Telegram channel and you and I talk about how to make a plan for you specifically. Right, so as long as you kind of practice this, and as I mentioned, keep mentioning, you got the demo account, you got the tournaments, free tournament participation every single day. All right, so third place is 50 bucks. Imagine if out of 30 days you win 10 times, $500 in your pocket, zero risk. And I've shown you, right, how to do that. You can actually win tournaments with proper money management and AI. You don't have to do it at the end of a minute, every single minute. You can actually open multiple positions per minute because AI will open 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. And as long as you just kind of follow what we discussed in one of the videos that, in the past about the tournaments, and if you want, we can actually do it one-on-one. Reach out to the Telegram channel, talk to me one-on-one. We'll be able to kind of clarify all of these things. All right, so we got the 3 green bars. I do believe that we could get a buy signal, but I also believe that even if there is going to be a buy signal, it's not going to be for a very long time. So at this point, we had a buy signal from Fractal. We have a 3 green bars right here. So if, this is where I would actually wait. Right now, we have a potential for a breakout. Remember I told you about this? Let's remove this. The breakout is, and yeah, this is actually something that would be possible right here. It touched this resistance level was touched multiple times, right? So we drew this line. We got 1, we got 2, we got 3, we got 4 with a false breakout. We got 5. So on the 6th time, this is why I say that this particular situation is sexy as hell. Because we do have a potential for a breakout. If it's going to go up, we're going to, kind of see maybe a bit of a pullback here, or a pullback here. And at this point, we got this level, right? So I would actually say that, yeah, I wanna open a position, all right, for the following minute. I think I want to open it now, though. This particular move is still something that's very aggressive, right? This is once again in 3 minutes it came down to here, but we can see that in 5 minutes it came up to here. So I'm actually going to ride this. I'm going to see if we got this potential. We do have, there we go. We do have the crossing of the negative and positive directional movement index. We got shaft rounding out. We got crossing from a MACD. Hell yeah. Let's go and continue. Let's continue to ride this. Yeah, I do believe that this is something that's going to be going up a little bit more. So I kept mentioning this is the a relatively good level of resistance where it could pull back a bit, but right now there is a kind of feeling that it should be continuing to go upwards. We got incompleted signals. Shaft is still here. CCI is just about right. It's almost. This happened not too long ago, so we are going to go to $3 in the following minute. All right, so in 17 or 15 seconds or so, we're going to get our answer. Yeah. So as I mentioned, there is this resistance level right here. As we could draw this right here. There it is. All right, so it did touch. It kind of bounced back, but I do believe it should be going up more. So let's wait a little bit more and see. Once again, chats are open. Ask me about my favorite drink. I don't know. My favorite car or something, or anything about this. This is, I don't know, kind of jokes aside, this is what I burn with. This is my passion. But, maybe you guys want to see who's the person under the mask by asking maybe some of the questions that might be on your mind. Not sure. Alright, so we got, there we go. We're gonna go for 7.5. And we're gonna wait just a little bit more. As I mentioned, it's totally natural to see a bit of a pullback after such a, bullish bullish jump, right now, I probably would want to open, and I think I will. There we go. It's 750, and then we're going to go to 1875. And I'm still, kind of bullish, optimistic, bullishly optimistic. There we go. We got Schaff on this saying that it's a buy, even though it kind of went down for a bit of a retracement. And CCI pulled back a little bit, so I'm kind of starting to get a little concerned. We got ADX still falling downward. Not a particularly good situation. With all of the lines, the positive and directional movement, positive and negative directional movement index is also pointing down. We got our first red bar. And yeah, I might need to catch this. I might need to catch a downtrend. All right, so there we go, yeah. So it wasn't really what we were expecting. I was expecting a bit movement maybe beyond this level, but yet again, not really critical, because we're going to see what this is going to be doing for us, and maybe more signals. So far, we do have right now, maybe, yeah, a bit more. I'm going to wait for the next minute, though, to see. There we go. We got an early signal from Fractal saying that it should be going down. We got two red bars. We got rounding out of the MACD and the C and the signal line. Shaft is above, but they can do something like this, right? It can start rounding out right now and go downwards. So we're going to see the dominance here. And CCI is pointing down, though we do have ADX. Once again, it's not really a trend. I think this is just going to be a short-term burst. But we also have parabolic that's still pointing upward. So I'm still going to wait for the next minute even. Yeah, I'm going to wait for the next minute for the expiration to see if we get another signal. So 3, 4, there we go, 2, 1. All right, what do we got? We got nothing else. So far it's still bearish dominant. But it doesn't mean any, a lot of things. All right, let's see maybe something else would catch our eye. We got a crossing over here. Kind of have like almost a bunch of false breakouts. All right, and it could be going upwards also. Let's go back here. I want to, maybe, this is something actually people say that, they should never do revenge trading. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. With ATR, well, we do have relatively high volatility potential, so candle could be of a decent size, but I'm still not certain. We got CCI approaching. It's about to touch. But there's no other. So I think at the end of this minute that we could get our signal. There we go. And no, it seems like it's it seems like it's fighting the negative move. Man, you tell pocket option guys, what are you guys doing, huh? All right, it seems like, yeah, it kind of bounced upwards. Now I don't really feeling this. All right, we're coming close to we're coming to an end of our trading session. All right, we got parabolic, so on the bottom we got MACD crossing, we got shaft showing, we do have CCI pulling, we do have crossing of the positive and directional movement index, though ADX is at like super low, so even if it's going to go upwards, it's not really something that's going to last for a while. This particular upward movement in itself is relatively, already stretching the possibilities. Look, in 3 minutes, it kind of went down very aggressively. We got, a whole bunch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that are, that are going up to make up this time. It's still going to continue a bit. I'm thinking that maybe this candle is going to close in green as well. But because I have to go pick up my kid from the kindergarten, I'm going to cut it short today. My dear friends, I do encourage you not to be shy and to ask questions. This is not as difficult as it looks. The reason why there's crap load of indicators here is because we talked about them in the past, and I want you guys to see them in action, right? But you don't need 6, 7 indicators at once, all right? You are able to do this with a few good ones that you prefer, something that you and I can discuss on the in Telegram channel one-on-one without any kind of obligations, right? So we made a little bit of money today. I do believe we made like, I don't know, 30 bucks per hour that we've been trading with using super small amounts, right? So there it is. If you guys, at the end of the video, somebody's going to be watching, you can kind of calculate this yourself. So around 30 bucks per hour. You know what? I think that's actually pretty good money if you're gonna just sit in front of a computer with like smooth jazz, sipping some, not moonshine or anything like that, but sipping some coffee or tea. It's still something that 2, 3, 4, 5 hours that you can do. Listen to some techno trance, or just kind of not even brushing your teeth coming out of bed. But these are all of our positions. You can see that statistically speaking, you don't need to have like 80% success rate. All right, this is something that I'm very, very adamant about. Don't ask from yourself something that you cannot deliver. This is still going to be super psychologically stressful. All right, if you say, I need 80% success rate, 90% success rate. No, you don't. I've shown this many times with social trading that you're able to do this with 50. You can actually even do this with less than 50. All right, hold on. Let me show you. Let me just go back there. Look, right there it is. All right, we got 58, we got 56, 54. There it is. 38 freaking percent success rate. Though crap load of positions, this is something that I don't really approve, where you open multiple positions per expiration. But nevertheless, look, the person's in profit. 49, 57. Right, 5 positions with 100. Well, the luck was on his side. Holy crap, a lot of positions, but 50% success rate, right? So you don't need 52, 53. You don't need a massive profitability. Look, we got a VIP here, 57. There we go, in the money, right? So this is what I'm trying to tell you. You guys don't need to ask a lot from your trading for success rate. So majority of winning, as I keep saying to everybody, is not done in the signals. All right, so statistics, and this is where you can, if you contact me, I'll even send you a particular sheet that will be able to, you'll be able to record your positions on which position you get in the money trade, and you'll be able to get a statistic at the end of a trading period. You'll be able to get a statistic at the end of the day or at the end of the month, and this statistic will show you, what kind of numbers you need to work with. And based on that statistic, you can put your money together. You can put your money together with the proper money management. And that means that, once again, not according to my statistics or somebody else's idea of what is right. What kind of schedule do you have? Do you have a chance to kind of look at, 15, 20 minutes, or maybe you have a couple of hours where you can open 5 positions with like 80% success rate, or if you can wait 2, 3 hours for, these alignments of all of the indicators to show you that it's a good time. But if you don't, we can actually show you different approaches, and I can read you off. Today we had 27 trades. Profitable trades was 52%. 52%. Trading turnover, we did $116 worth of opening of positions, and profit is 28 bucks. Right? So almost 29 bucks. Right? So all of this are rounded up to 30 bucks in 1 hour. Pretty darn good, considering that, once again, we're doing this on a kind of random moment, and with focus more on a particular indicator. Not really something that I do, but once again, I'm not selling you a trick. So, my dear friends, let's make sure that we go and to the Telegram channel. You ask your questions. Ask questions here. Please like the video. Please follow our channel, and we're going to be evolving. We're going to be giving away gifts, at some point, depending on how well this is expanding. Some pretty nice gifts. So like the comment, subscribe, like and comment, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with more technical analysis.